What is up, Fin fans? Getting an early video for me today. Had to take off of work today for some personal reasons, so I'm home. I'm home and able to make a video sooner than I normally would. Let's leave it at that. And if you could tell from the title that Tua Tagovailoa, I think I got pretty good at saying his name. You gotta give me some credit. You gotta give me some credit on that. He is declared for the draft. Now, if you guys have seen, his wide receivers, his safeties, a lot of his underclassmen have declared for the draft. And by that happening, it really gave you an understanding and really gave you an idea that he's not coming back to Alabama. If his underclassmen and a lot of his receivers and a lot of his friends on the team would have went back to Alabama, then it would have made sense that, okay, Tua's going to go back to Alabama. Tua's going to forego the draft in 2020, wait for 2021, and try to get a national championship with Alabama. But he didn't. So he had his little press conference. I almost said breast conference. What is that? I'm going to talk about some of the things he said, and then I'll talk about what everyone wants to know. And I can already tell so many of you guys have probably already commented without watching the video, or already commented now without even going through the full process. I don't want him. They would be so stupid at 5. He's injury prone. This is stupid. Oh my God, I hope the Dolphins will take him. If the Dolphins take him, I'm done with this team. I already can tell it. A lot of you guys are going to comment below. Just wait a second, man. First off, watch the video before you comment or hit the thumbs down or hit the, wait. Listen to what I got to say. All right. So he says it's a unique situation. With my hip, a lot of guys and general managers and owners that I've talked to had said the same thing. They kind of look at this injury as a knee injury almost, even though it's not. It's not a knee injury. Is it more severe? Is it less severe? I'll talk about that in a second. In a way that, are we going to take a chance on this guy, or would he be able to possibly do a pro day before the draft, which is big, very big. The biggest thing they want to see is that we can move and be back to how we were playing prior to the injury. That is what everyone wants to know. Tua, when you are 100% again, are you going to be the Tua that you were in college, and are we getting that quarterback? Now, I know there's a lot of people that don't like Tua. There's a lot of people that don't like Tua. A lot of people didn't like Tua before his injury. A lot of people wanted to say, look at the receivers around him. Look at his offensive line. He never played a defense. He's only throwing short routes. He doesn't have to deal with pressure, 5 seconds in the pocket. This, and that. A lot of people had lists of things that they didn't like Tua. They thought he was overrated. They didn't like him. Now, again, let me preference this and put a disclaimer. I'm not editing. This is straight from phone video, so I can't put an edit in. Boom, disclaimer. I'm not saying I want Tua at 5. I'm not saying I like Tua. I'm giving you guys an unbiased outside opinion, because I'm not a Tua hater and I'm not a Tua lover. I'm an outside unbiased opinion. A lot of things that people want to say about Tua can be said about Joe Burrow. That's all I'm saying. Joe Burrow has the most ridiculous wide receivers around him. Joe Burrow has a ton of time in the pocket. So a lot of things that you could say about Tua, besides the injury proneness, which again, I'll talk about that, you could say about Joe Burrow. So just keep that in mind. So, a lot of people want to know, a lot of general managers, a lot of owners, a lot of people that want to take him in this draft now. And there's a lot of teams. As much as people probably think like, oh, he sucks, this and that. It's a lot of teams. The Chargers might take him. The Jacksonville Jaguars potentially could take him, but it depends on what they think about Minshew. Indianapolis Colts could take him. There's a lot of quarterback needy teams that could take him. The Miami Dolphins could take him, but again, I'll talk about that in a little bit. So they want to know, are you injury prone? And he talks about how, his hip injury, a lot of people want to associate that with the knee, but it's different. Now, a hip injury is big for quarterbacks. Quarterbacks, if you watch the Dak Prescott pregame thing where he was doing his little cha-cha-cha, popping that hip, you throw with your hips as a quarterback. You throw with your arm, but it's a lot of hip movement. So your hips are very important when it comes to quarterback, but it's not as exposed and not as out there and dangerous as a knee injury. Because you can plant wrong on that knee and pop it out. Ryan Tannehill didn't have the surgery on his knee, ran to the sideline in 2017, popped the knee, hurt himself out for the season. A knee is different from a hip, especially with the hip injury he had and how quickly this man went and got surgery. That night got surgery. They popped it in on the field, got him in the hospital, had surgery. Different from Bo Jackson. Stop talking about Bo Jackson and Tua as the same injury. Completely different. Two different things. Bo Jackson, he did not have his surgery. He did not have a pop in instantly, and he played on it right away. Had damage in his knee and his hip. Completely different. C.J. Mosley had a very serious hip injury, and he's fine now. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You know, got to take it into consideration. But again, I will tell you guys in a little bit how I feel about Tua Tagovailoa. I'm getting real good at saying that name. Give it a thumbs up because I'm getting real good at saying his name. I'm real good because I have to talk to him, talk about him all the time. And then there's a little tidbit as to whether he'll be physically fit enough to whatever to take part in pro day. I can't talk. Leave me alone. Tagovailoa said he would leave that up to the advice of doctors, citing a recheck of his hip surgery around the 3-month mark. And if you guys don't know recently, I think about last week, he was in New York to meet with the NFL doctors. And I think that him meeting with the NFL doctors, probably also with his underclassmen not going back to Alabama, helped him decide whether he wants to enter this draft or not. Because they would tell him where he'd probably be picked and if he'd be able to play and if he'd be able to sustain a hit and all that stuff. He brought his Texas doctors with him. So it's very big. Very, very big. He also says, I don't see any of the doctors can tell the foreseeable future. He said, none of the guys rehabbing me can tell that. From what they've seen in New York, everything looks good. But you can't really tell until the 3 mark or the 4-month mark. That's the gauge. And this is what I've been telling you guys time and time again. And this is what I've been talking about. Now I'll get into should the Miami Dolphins take Tua Tagovailoa. It's like rolls off my tongue. I'm sorry. I digress. I don't know. Now, the quarterbacks in this draft, there's no... For me personally, again, you guys might be a Joe Burrow fan and think he's a home run, he's a can't miss, top-notch talent. You got to take him at 1 or 2. If you pass on him and he falls to 5, we're dumb. They're dumb. Run up with the ticket, throw it in the guy's face, and put the cap on his head. Me personally, from what I'm seeing and the things that I'm like looking at, and again, I have to do more research. This is from what I've seen this season. I still have to do more research, more film breakdown. I have to do my prospects videos. So this is off the top of the dome what I've seen. Burrow and Tua scare me when it comes to drafting a quarterback because you guys know, as Miami Dolphin fans, drafting a quarterback could be a very hit or it can be a miss, like we've seen thousands of times. John Beck, Chad Henne, Cleo Lemons, like it could be a whaffer. Like, so the fact that Tua has this hip injury, the fact that he didn't crack his pelvis bone, but the fact that he had such a sustainable injury does scare the crap out of me. Because the man could take one big hit from Jadeveon Clowney, which that was messed up, and he knocked Carson Wentz out yesterday. But he could take one severe hit, and then boom, he's done. He injures that hip one more time, his career is over. Because then it's going to... Trust me, I dislocated my shoulder. I went to go work out about a year after I dislocated my shoulder, popped my shoulder out again. I am constant in fear that if I lift too much weight above my head and fully extend my arm, I'm going to pop my shoulder out again. So if Tua has another severe hip injury after taking a hit, there is the fear that it's going to keep happening to the man. That scares me as a Dolphin fan taking him at 5. So I need to know from 100% certainty that when he has his physical at the combine, that he is good to go and he can play if we needed him to play in September. Now, is that a thing that could happen? I don't know. Like Tua said, I don't think any doctors can tell the foreseeable future. No one knows. No one knows. But like I said, equally as much as I'm afraid of drafting Tua at 5 because of this severe injury to his hip and we don't know the type of player we're getting, even though a lot of what he was doing was his head and his arms, Like I said, your hip is a lot to do with passing. I feel the same way about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had one good year. Joe Burrow is killing it this year, but Joe Burrow has great receivers around him, a great offensive line, and a great defense around him. It does worry me that when he comes to the NFL and plays in this pro style, and I know a lot of people say he has a pro style in LSU, how many times has he taken a snap under center? It worries me. So there's no quarterback in this draft that I'm like, oh, we need to take him. There's no Andrew Luck, John Elway, Dan Marino. There's no 4-year starting all pro great quarterback coming out in this draft that I'm like, I want that guy. So again, to reiterate, do I want the Miami Dolphins to take Tua at 5? I don't know. That's my God's honest opinion if you want my opinion. Now, I know a lot of you guys, I've read your comments. I read your comments every time I talk about Tua Tagovailoa. And a lot of you guys don't want him. I'm on the Facebook groups and I read the feeds and on my Twitter and everything. A lot of you guys don't want Tua. That injury scares you guys, and you have every right to be scared of the injury. And I also read the guys who want him. And the reason why people want him, especially Ian Dolphin fan, makes sense. You watch the Alabama game without him there. That quarterback did well because, again, don't get me wrong, they have a ton of talent around these quarterbacks. But he's not making the same throws. Those slant throws, the receivers have to stop to catch and then go. Tua he's point on with his passes. He's very good in the pocket with his passes and reading defenses. So it's all about the hip. It's all about the physical. It's all about, can he play and can he sustain a hit? For me, that's the biggest thing for Tua Tagovailoa and with his future in the NFL. Can he take an NFL hit from Jadeveon Clowney, from, J.J. Watt, if he's still even playing, because the man always gets injured every year. I'm talking about these big Dexter Lawrence, these big defensive ends that are coming after you, Aaron Donald. Can you take a hit from them, get up, and continue to play? Now, the thing that also I want to talk about before I end the video is injury prone. People get labeled injury prone. Like Carson Wentz got labeled injury prone. What is he going to do? He's taking a spear to the head. He sprained his ankle because he got tackled and the defensive end twisted his ankle. I'd understand if he was injury prone, like he stepped back and his knee blew out, or his injuries are non-contact injuries, then yes, of course, the man's injury prone. If you sneeze on him the wrong way, he's injured. But this man is taking hits that are hurting him. Now, his ankles are better than they were before because of the surgeries that he got done on his ankles. It's the hip that worries me. So again, to reiterate, Tua Tagovailoa has declared for the 2020 NFL Draft. The Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, are going to be talked about even more in the offseason than they would have before because of their cap and their draft picks. Now, because Tua declared for the draft, the Miami Dolphins are going to be talked about even more because now we're going to be associated and revolved around Tua Tagovailoa. We're going to be mock draft to pick him at 5. We're going to be talked about, will the Dolphins take him? Are the Dolphins going to be at his pro day? Are the Dolphins going to talk to him? I'm telling you guys, this offseason is the Miami Dolphins offseason. It's not the NFL offseason. It's the NFL Miami Dolphins offseason. That's what this is going to be. And you got a ton of content from me. So, like I usually say, but before I get to that, I don't know if I want to take Tua. I'll reiterate that. I can tell you the positives and the negatives of taking him. I can also do it with Joe Burrow. As of me right now, I haven't made my prospects video, so if you guys want to know who I'm taking at 5, I don't know. Chase Young falls to 5, I'm taking him, though. But I don't see that happening. But other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter. Like I said, I tweeted this out. Not as soon as it happened. I was taking care of some things like building. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's the Miami Dolphins Lego Stadium. I finished building it. So that's done. And I'm taking care of things around the house. I have to, like I said, take care of some things today. But be sure to follow me on Twitter. Also check out the Bit Boys. 2 great, it's my second site. It's my gaming site. I'm also working on my third site, DouglieDoWrong Studios, where I talk about other things. Look out for that. But other than that, give this video a thumbs up, fellas. This is the start of the process for the Miami Dolphins. This is the start of the offseason. Like I said to you guys, we're going to be revolved around, talked about the most this offseason. Give a video a thumbs up for that because we are building a dynasty here, fellas. The Patriots dynasty has fallen. It has fallen. Now, you might say, Doug, not necessarily. It's fallen. Tom Brady's not going back to New England, and I hope he does. I hope he decides to go back to New England because we beat him in Foxborough, Week 17. We were the one punch, and here came the Titans with the uppercut. Knock them out. So give us a video thumbs up for that, and because you like the content. You like these straight-to-video videos, straight-to-camera video. You know what I'm saying. And all that stuff. Other than that, check out DolphinsTalk.com. Very great site I'm associated with. Ton of content on there. Podcasts, beat writers, YouTubers like me, and a bunch of other Dolphin fans. Well, other than that, hit that subscribe button. This is too much to do this offseason for you not to be subscribed to this channel and get news as soon as it happens or as soon as I can make it happen, because I work, unfortunately. For now. Soon this will be my career. So be sure to hit the subscribe button. I will see you guys tomorrow with my surprise players of 2019. You guys voted. You wanted surprise first. Surprise, then let down. And then I'm going to pick this weekend's playoff games. I got a lot planned. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. And don't you ever forget, fins up.